Tic-Tac-Toe is a simple little game that you play when you need to kill some time. 9 boxes, X's and O's, get 3 in a row, and that's it. Somewhere along the way, someone decided to expand upon it with a 3D variation, also known as cubic, using a 4x4 grid, and dropping 3 more boards underneath it to make it 4x4x4. This incarnation of the game would find its way onto the Atari 2600 in 1980. The game uses the same mechanics as traditional tic-tac-toe, only instead of completing a row of 3 blocks horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, you do the same with 4 blocks, and you can also connect 4 going straight down a column using all 4 boards, as well as marking off a horizontal, vertical, or diagonal row using all 4 boards. It's certainly an interesting take on the original classic, but does it translate well to the Atari 2600? Well, the boards are presented pretty well with the pseudo-isometric view. It's not ideal, but it's about as good of a 3D representation as you're going to be able to get on the 2600. It would be a lot tougher to follow if it were displayed like this. But there are a lot of things that are left to be desired, like how sluggish the controls are. I mean, it's not a game where you need to react quickly or anything like that, but it would have been nice to be able to move your cursor around the board a little faster. I also don't really like how the CPU's last move flickers. I know it's an indicator of what their last move was, in case the sudden awkward black screen transition between moves was too distracting to notice where they last played. But it is a little distracting. It's kind of an eyesore. Also, although the X and O graphics are distinct from each other, the visual of all these blocks played does get to be a bit of a tangled clusterfuck when you're looking at it from all these angles. I think it could have helped if they did some kind of color coding system, like maybe white for the default blank squares, red for the X's, and blue for the O's, some shit like that. It would have just made it a bit easier to follow, even if it ended up looking like a rainbow vomited all over the fucking thing. At the end of the day, though, the game generally plays how it's supposed to. It does get a bit disorienting, and the controls could have been more fluid, but if you do enjoy playing Cubic, you'll be able to get something out of this game. But I'd still suggest alternate methods instead. Like, I don't know, a piece of fucking paper and a pen. Any game that you can perfectly emulate with a pen and paper should not be packed into a cartridge and sold for $30. It's not like you want to play the box game in video game form. Board games in general are already borderline justifiable when it comes to video game incarnations. If there's nothing vastly different about the video game version, then all they are is a convenient way to not have to set up the pieces and put them away when you're done. But a game that's set up only includes drawing some boxes, that does not need a video game release. So, 3D Tic-Tac-Toe on the 2600 is what it is. It manages to play out a functional version of Cubic, but its existence is unnecessary.
X and O. It's like yes and no. Tic tac toe.